Good morning. I am James J. Davis, Associate Dean for Academic and Student Affairs. We are extremely happy that you have made the right decision by enrolling at Howard University. We are equally happy that you have chosen or are in the process of choosing a major in the College of Arts and Sciences, warmly nicknamed COAS. I now offer you our general, heartfelt welcome to the Fall 2020 New Student Orientation for COAS. A few announcements to share. We plan to follow the program as printed, but there is always the possibility that changes might have to be made if someone suddenly has connectivity issues and emergencies. If I'm unable to complete my task as your moderator this morning, our assistant dean, Ms. Tracy Truitt, will step in for me. And if for some reason she is disconnected, Dean Patterson will step in and continue the program for us. Be sure, students, to read all of your information very carefully so that you will know when things will occur and also when your departmental orientations will take place after the program this morning. And now, here to greet you with an official welcome to COAS is the Chief Academic Officer of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dean Reuben Patterson. Dean Patterson.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Good morning, New Howard students. I hope you and your families are well. Ordinarily, we will be together physically this morning in Crampton Auditorium for our new student orientation. I certainly wish we could be together in the auditorium because I love looking into the eyes of new students who are beaming with excitement about the experiences they are about to have as students at Howard University. Although fall 2020 semester is different from anything we had in mind a year ago when you were applying to Howard, we are delighted that you will nonetheless receive an excellent Howard education this fall, and we look forward to being together on campus next year. Deep down, I know that all of you are quite a bit like Vice Presidential candidate Kamala Harris and other Howard alumni in that you want to better the world. To that end, you should know that irrespective of your major and career interests, you will receive an education that orients you toward humanitarian leadership and active citizenship. Those values and skills will carry you far in your life's journey. For better or for worse, you are entering college at a time when the world is experiencing a great deal of volatility, uncertainty, and complexity. However, you should know that the liberal arts and pre-professional education you will receive in COAS will help you imagine multiple plausible futures as well as help you prepare for them. Howard has a plethora of academic support services to help you not just to graduate, but to graduate on time. Please take full advantage of those effective academic support services. You should know that your university also has many career enhancement opportunities to better position you for early career success upon your graduation. For instance, there are typically several hundred internship opportunities available for COAS students. Internships represent great opportunities for professional development as well as opportunities to apply the knowledge and skills you acquire in the classroom. Additionally, many of you qualify for federal work study. Work study students typically have higher on-time graduation rates and gain their postgraduate employment sooner than others. So, if you qualify, please take advantage of this win-win opportunity. You will receive an income, and again, the professional development that work studies students often receive facilitates their graduation and future employment. Your career enhancement activities should start this semester with the creation of your Handshake profile. You will learn more about the Handshake platform in the weeks to come. In short, take full advantage of the global resources and services offered by the university to help you succeed at Howard and beyond. COAS has always succeeded in producing global leaders, but last year we became even more intentional about that goal. One activity we initiated was a passport drive to ensure that every freshman student in the college has a valid passport by the end of their first year. We were very aggressive with that activity last year. This year, we might not be as aggressive due to the pandemic, but we will nonetheless continue working on the passport drive. So stay tuned, and Dr. Davis will keep you informed. Finally, during monthly meetings with students, Dr. Davis will emphasize the abundance of academic support services and career enhancement opportunities, as well as lead you in in-depth explorations of complex questions that are roiling society. I know you will enjoy those meetings with Dr. Davis and your fellow new students. Again, welcome to Howard University, and I look forward to getting to know as many of you as possible. Enjoy. Dr. Davis.
Asante sana. Thank you, Dr. Patterson. The dean is assisted by 4 associate deans in the College of Arts and Sciences and the 4 divisions that we have in the college. And I'm going to introduce those deans to you, starting with the Division of Fine Arts. The Division of Fine Arts is headed by Dr. Lisa Farrington, who is not here with us today. She is being represented by Dr. Ofuwosa Abiola. Dr. Abiola, would you please say welcome?
Welcome.
Did we see her when she popped in? Okay, then what we want to do is that when you say you're welcome, we want to be sure that everybody is seen. So that's the Fine Arts. We move now to the Division of Humanities, and the Associate Dean for that area is moi, James J. Davis. And from there, we move to the Division of Natural Sciences, Associate Dean Kim Lewis, Dr. Kim Lewis.
Welcome, students, to the College of Arts and Sciences.
Okay, and finally, the Division of Social Sciences, Associate Dean Dr. Thomas Foster.
Welcome to Howard and to COAS.
And now I would like to introduce the department chairs and directors. Chairs, please share a 1 or 2 word welcome to our new students after I call your name. I'm going to do these in alphabetical order. We begin with Dr. Ofuwosa Abiola, Chair of Theater Arts.
Welcome to the department.
Okay. Dr. Terry Adams Fuller, Sociology and Criminology. Dr. Adams Fuller is not okay. She greets you nonetheless. Dr. Oladapo Bakare, Chemistry.
Welcome to the College of Arts and Sciences.
Thank you. Professor Mark Bartley, Art. Professor Bartley? I thought I saw him. He must be muted.
Welcome to the Department of Art at Howard University.
All right. You see how Howard pulls it together? Even if we're a little delayed, we are going to respond in some form or fashion. Thank you, Professor Bartley. And Dr. Buramatoni, Chair of Mathematics. I think Dr. Tony is being represented by Dr. Jill McGowan. Is she here? They're somewhere counting, I'm sure. Okay, counting something. Mathematics, we are passing you on. Dr. Mohammed Kamara, Chair of the Department of African Studies.
Welcome to Howard University, to COAS, and to all of our departments.
Okay, that was more than 2 words. Dr. Gregory Carr, Chair of the Department of Afro-American Studies.
Welcome, students and family.
Thank you. Dr. Jacoby Carter, Chair of the Department of Philosophy.
Welcome to Howard.
All right. Dr. Yasmin DeGoot, Chair, Department of English.
Welcome to Howard University.
Professor Deborah Johnson, Chair, Health, Human Performance, and Leisure Studies.
Welcome to Howard University, family and students.
All right, Dr. Leonard Mwaka, Chair, World Languages and Cultures.
Welcome to the World Languages Department.
Dr. Yerun Ohio, Interim Chair, Music. I may have messed up the first name. He says he's called Chinny.
Yeah, Chinny, fine. Welcome to the Department of Music.
Dr. Ravi Perry, Chair, Political Science.
Welcome, students, to the Mecca.
Lieutenant Colonel Redalia Person, United States Air Force, ROTC.
Good morning, freshmen and family members. Welcome to Howard University, and I look forward to hearing from you if you have any questions about Air Force ROTC.
Okay, Dr. Mildred Pointer, former member of the Pointer Sisters, Chair of Biology.
Greetings and congratulations to all of you, and welcome to biology.
Okay, that was a joke about her being a member of the Pointer Sisters, but I know that she can sing.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And Dr. Deborah Roberts, Chair of Psychology.
Good morning and welcome, students, to Howard University. I look forward to welcoming the psychology students, especially during our individual sessions a little later. If I may, Dr. Davis, I see that our Associate Chair, Dr. Jules Harrell, is on. If he'd like to maybe say something.
Welcome, students. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Harrell, you're always welcome. And then we move from Dr. Harrell to Dr. Lloyd Sloan, Chair of Interdisciplinary Studies. Dr. Sloan is meddling in other departments and being interdisciplinary. Where's Dr. Sloan?
Right here.
Oh, here he is.
Welcome to Howard and to the college's fastest growing department. I look forward to seeing you.
Okay. And Dr. Norma Small-Warren, Chair, Comprehensive Sciences.
Welcome to Howard University, students.
And Dr. Omari Swinton, Chair of Economics. I believe Dr. Swinton is being represented by Dr. Mipagala.
Welcome to Howard University.
Yes, okay. And the Dr. Nikki Taylor, Chair of the Department of History.
We are so glad you chose Howard University. Welcome to the Mecca.
Dr. Alexander Tulin, Chair of Classics.
Oh, welcome to the Department of Classics.
Okay, Lieutenant Colonel Crayonta West, Chair of Army, ROTC.
Welcome, new students and family, to Howard University. We look forward to hearing more from you in the Army Department.
Dr. Daniel Williams, Director of the Honors Program.
Welcome to College of Arts and Sciences.
And finally, Dr. Quentin Williams, Chair of the Department of Physics and Astronomy.
Welcome to the Mecca. You have arrived.
All right, he closes it out very nicely. I hope I have not overlooked anyone. If I have, it's not my fault. I got this list from someone else. All right, I'm going to share with you some general information about COAS, the Office of Student Affairs and its relationship to other university offices. I will also share some thoughts and reflections on what you should consider as you navigate your intellectual, professional, and social growth at Howard University. I always like to have students understand the structure of the university. You may have heard some of this before. I'm going to be very simple about this. Let's think about Howard University as a 3-story house. On the 3rd floor of that house, top level, is the administration, the president's office, the board of trustees, and others. That's where big decisions are made about the university and all of the things that carry on. I'm going to be focusing primarily on the academic side of things at Howard. So you've got the 3rd floor of this 3-story house. On the 2nd floor of that house, you have the office of the provost, the chief academic officer in the university, covers all of the programs at the university. He's the chief academic officer. And on the first floor of that building, you have schools and colleges. And this is where the College of Arts and Sciences play a role in here. We are the ground level of academic programs at the college and university. We are the College of Arts and Sciences. You will also find that some of the other programs are called schools. Why is there a difference between school and colleges? Schools generally are those programs that focus on similar programs, such as the School of Communication. All of their departments focus on communication. And the College of Arts and Sciences, we deal with a variety of programs. We have 23 academic programs in the college. So therefore, we qualify to be a college because not all of our programs are the same, are necessarily interrelated. But we want to leave you with the idea that all of your study is interrelated in the College of Arts and Sciences. Whether you're taking foreign languages, whether you're taking English, whether you're taking philosophy, at one point, all of this comes together to make you the whole student. And so as a result, I'm going to speak a little bit about the curriculum of the College of Arts and Sciences. I hope that you followed my analogy about the three-story house. We are now on the first floor of that house talking about the nitty-gritty of the College of Arts and Sciences. I must change my page so that I can keep up with myself. Let me make it very clear that when we talk about student affairs, we are talking about student academic affairs. We're not interested in your other types of affairs. We work only with the academic part of your existence at Howard University. I want to point out, and I will read or share with you, that the Student Academic Affairs Unit in the College of Arts and Sciences in the Office of the Dean stands ready to assist and support our students in academic matters, advising, co-curricular and extracurricular activities. We work closely with the Office of Undergraduate Studies and the Office of Enrollment Management to enhance the students' academic and pre-professional profiles. Additionally, we work collaboratively with all offices and departments throughout the university to help ensure that our students' needs are addressed. So let me point out that while you cannot come to visit us in person this semester, I'd like you to know that you are cordially welcome to contact our office for assistance with matters relative to your success at Howard University. Or if you just want to have a general conversation about your academic interests and professional goals, we welcome you to visit, to ask us questions at Howard University. Please understand that no question is stupid. You may ask us any question that you'd like to get the answers to at the university. The College of Arts and Sciences and the Office of Student Affairs is there to assist you as you matriculate through the university. I'll just share with you just a few things that we do in the Office of Student Affairs. We work with registration issues. A student who has a problem with registration, those matters, come to the Office of Student Affairs. We will assist you with that. We will assist you with course overrides. You'll learn that word when you get to Howard University. An override is used when a course is closed and filled to capacity. And if the teacher allows you to get into the class, we conduct what we call an override to let you get into a class that has 30 students in it, and you want to make the 31st, the override is the process for doing that. Won't be able to explain all of these forms and all of this business here. I just want to get through it, but just to get you into thinking of how you need to navigate at Howard University. We also, for example, students who want to change their majors or their minors, you will start with the Office of Student Affairs. We will work with you on that. You want to do intra-university transfers. Those of you who get to Howard and you are in another school or college, I've explained before, and you want to come to the College of Arts and Sciences, our office will assist you in making those transfers for changing your major from nursing to biology, for example, or to psychology, whatever it is that you're doing. I'm just looking down my list here. We work with special grade reports. Now, I want to explain that a little bit. You'll hear this terminology as you navigate Howard. Special grade reports are used when a faculty member has a reason to change a student's final grade because of some extenuating circumstances or an issue that came up here. Now, when I say that we do special grade reports, I do not want you to come to my office and say, I got a C in this course. Can you change my grade? The Office of Student Affairs does not change student grades. That begins with your professor. You need to have a discussion with your professor and discuss any kinds of changes of final grade. We do not in the Office of Student Affairs change grades. And I say that it reminds me of just saying to you as you navigate through the university, through the college, when you have issues, academic issues, please understand that you must begin your discussion with your instructor. Do not go straight to the president's office and say, I had a problem with my instructor. Start with the instructor. After having a discussion with your instructor, then you would move on to the chair of the department, chair of your department. And then as a third resort, there is the office of the dean. But remember that there is in place a grievance process in the College of Arts and Sciences that you must follow to get your issues addressed. And grievance is your last resort. Please work within the department's structure with the chair or his or her representative to begin the process at the department level. Okay, I just shared that about that. And a few other things about the Office of Student Affairs. We deal with student donor scholarships. That is wonderful people who have made donations to the university to assist students as they matriculate through the university. The Office of Student Affairs works with the donor scholarships to help award those to our wonderful students who deserve them. We also deal with globalization awards. Now, if you've not heard the word globalization before, this is a fee that each student pays into during the fall semester. You didn't pay it this semester because we exempt you from that, because this is a fund that is used primarily for engaging students in international affairs, including study abroad and all of that. We still have that fund there, and we hope that starting in the spring, or if not in the next summer, students will be able to go back into the use of the globalization fund. But we want you to know that when you hear that, you are aware that these funds are handled in the Office of Student Affairs in the college, in the Office of the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. I have a longer list here, and I'm not going to go through everything there. I just want to point out to you that we are the unit in the college that will help you navigate your academic experiences at Howard University. You can ask questions later. I want to make a few comments about the general curriculum. Each of the schools and colleges has its own curriculum that students must follow. Let me tell you that each student graduating from the College of Arts and Sciences must complete 120 credit hours. There are no exceptions to this rule. Even if you've completed the requirements for your major, if you have 118 hours, you are not getting a degree from the College of Arts and Sciences. You must complete 120 hours. Is that clear? I also want to make sure that you understand that each student in the College of Arts and Sciences currently has to have a minor program. The fine arts may differ a little bit in this case, but all students in the other divisions must have a minor, which consists of at least 15 to 20 credit hours. Okay, so if you're majoring in sociology, you need to have a minor in some other department. It could be history, it could be psychology, it could be Afro-American studies, etc. We do not want you to get to the end of your 4 years at the university and get clear, trying to get cleared for graduation and to say, I didn't know I had to have a minor. And we say, oh, we're so sorry. You have to come back in the fall to complete your credits, to complete a minor. So get it straight from the very beginning, your major, your minor. We also want to point out that each student has to complete a certain number of general education courses in health, human performance, philosophy, foreign language, English. I'm missing some, but they are written somewhere in there, but the general education requirements. And you also have to complete what we call divisionals. When I talked about those 4 academic units before, fine arts, humanities, natural sciences, and social sciences, each student currently has to take a number of courses in each of those divisions. Now, let me tell you very clearly, they differ based on your major. So do not you think that because you are, say, for example, an English major and your roommate is a sociology major. And for sociology majors, the divisionals differ from those of an English major. So do not listen to your roommate for advice. Go to your academic advisors. Read the materials very clearly that's about the university, about the College of Arts and Sciences, so that you get to the end of your experience, your matriculation at Howard. You're not saying and say, my roommate told me this. No. Consult the authorities about your major advisors. And I want to say this to the students also, take advantage of the advisors in the departments that in which you are enrolled. Also, the advisors in the Office of Undergraduate Studies. They are there to help you. Take advantage. We don't want you to get to your second or third year in college and say, I've never visited an advisor. Our chairs that you've been introduced to and other members in their departments will help you in your program development as you navigate. How am I on time? I said I wasn't going to be 30 minutes, but I'm just running my mouth. I'm going to get to the end here very, very quickly here. I've talked about the general education requirement, about the divisional requirements, about the examinations. I didn't talk about the examinations, but there are placement examinations, for example, in mathematics and in foreign languages. Let's quickly just talk about foreign languages. Yes, in the College of Arts and Sciences, the students must take the equivalent of 4 semesters of a foreign language. But let me tell you that if you take the placement exam and if you place into level 3, then you can complete your foreign language requirement with 2 semesters. You begin with 3, you end with 4. 2 semesters can be all that you are required to take at the university. So think about that very carefully. Not all of you should jump into Spanish 1 or French 1 or Swahili 1. If you've had it before in high school, you can move on to an upper level, finish that requirement, and take something else that you need to complete your degree at the university. Think very seriously about that. And I'm going to end just here with a few things about student protocols and expected behaviors. I want to just mention to you that Howard University has somewhat of a formal culture in terms of your addressing your faculty members and people who work in the offices around the university. And we just want you to learn from the beginning of how to conduct yourself professionally. Please don't send me an email saying, hey, dude. We want you to get into the practice of writing professionally from the very beginning. Writing to the associate dean or the dean of the college or the president of the university is not a duding moment. Do you understand me? You want to say, dear professor, dear doctor, dear whatever the protocol is for the day. You begin to call someone by his or her first name when you are given the permission to do so. That is the way the culture operates. It's okay. If I allow you to say, if I say, call me James, then you can call me James. Otherwise, you address me professionally. And I'm saying this because I get numerous emails all the time from students, most of whom address or abide by the rules of the culture, but some I get. And believe me, if your email is shaky, the recipient might receive you as a shaky person. So learn very quickly how to deal with this business of formality versus informality. Those of you who've studied French or Spanish, you know that in French or in Spanish, you have the informal tú to address you, and you have the usted for the formal. You have the vous in French to address the formal. Please pay attention to those as you are dealing with the university. Just quickly, I want to say to you that as you address a right to individuals at the university, please include your student ID number. We operate at ID numbers at Howard, not by your name. Don't send me a note and say, my name is Mary J. Blige, and I want to enroll in Sociology 101. Well, you have not told me what your ID is. You have not told me what the specific course is that you want to enroll in. Please do that. While I'm thinking of email, at the university, the student ID, student email address has Bison in it. The faculty and staff address do not have that in here. So my address, for example, is jdavis@howard.edu. Some students send me an email to jdavis@bison.howard.edu. It will not get to me. It will go to some other James Davis because there are about 50 of us on campus with that same name. That's why we don't deal with ID numbers, because while you think your name may be absolutely unique, there's maybe someone here with that same name. All right, here. Let me see if I have completed all of my, I'm going to make it end it in a very few minutes here. The remainder of our programs, and you'll have an opportunity to ask us questions as we get to the end of the program. But before moving to the final segment of this, I want to share this thought, because the final program will be related to this. There are 4 steps to accomplishment. Plan purposefully, prepare prayerfully, proceed positively, and pursue persistently. A lot of P's in there. So our speakers are going to talk to us about just that in just a few moments. And we are going to begin with a presentation by Dr. Carrie Miller. Dr. Miller is the director of the Honors and Scholars Development Program in the Office of Undergraduate Studies. She will talk to us about creating focus, MECA goals, establishing a 4-year plan. Dr. Miller, welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for that introduction. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. So I will share my screen here because I am a visual learner and I'm a visual teacher. And what I want to do today is I specifically want to both introduce everyone at COAS to the function and services of the Office of Undergraduate Studies. And at the same time, we want to talk about the idea of intentionality and the idea of setting goals while you're here at Howard in order to focus specifically on your success with the end goal in mind. So let's see. Okay, so we have this big, beautiful butterfly, right? But as we all know from elementary science, that this is the end goal, right? You didn't start out as big, beautiful butterflies. So we want to think about ourselves in this space as we come to college with the guiding principle that living beings are instinctually predestined for success. right? So as you start off this week with orientation, and as you move through Howard over the next 4 years, we want you to understand, and when I say we, I mean faculty, staff, peers, the whole entire Howard alumni community. We want you to understand that you were designed for this, you were designed for Howard, and you were designed for success. So you need to understand at this point that you can graduate on time and you can graduate with specific goals in mind. And we're going to look at the Monarch butterfly, which is why it's up here, as a case study for instinctual success and intentionality. All right, so as I said, right, the butterfly is not automatic. It's intentionally planned, right, by the universe, starting off with the mother or the parents who plant the eggs on the milkweed specifically because that is where it's going to get the most nourishment, right? And that is where it's going to grow and that is where it's going to thrive. And we are hoping that that was the decision that was made for you to be at Howard, right? The idea that this is a very nourishing environment, which it is, right? So we're going to move through, and because it was planted there specifically, it's going to grow into a caterpillar. And eventually it's going to become a chrysalis and then a butterfly. With the end result in mind, we want you to focus on yourself and your goals while you're here at Howard, right? So we have a whole entire program of orientation success for the rest of the week. Then we want you to have academic success. And as Dr. Davis mentioned, we want you to lean on your advisors. We want you to lean on faculty. We want you to lean on each other and do really well here, right? Because our success is based on your success, right, as a community. Then we want you to graduate, and we want you to have what we call postgraduate outcomes. We want you to go somewhere directly after Howard related to your purpose, related to your career interests, related to what you've learned here. And so resources that we have to do that are located at Career Services. And at this website, you can actually enroll in Handshake. And Handshake is your portal to internships, fellowships, career opportunities, and employment. There are literally thousands, and I am not joking, there are literally thousands of employers from all over the country and all over the world that contact faculty and staff and our administration constantly trying to get Howard students, right? And they're all funneled into Handshake. So you will need to create an account and create a profile so that they will have access to recruiting you. Not just your senior year, but through all 4 years, we want you to be engaged with internships and opportunities through Handshake. So that's our 4 stages of college success. And this is an introduction to OUS, or the Office of Undergraduate Studies. It has 3 distinct units that you see at the top. One is the Center for Academic Excellence, and they are specifically responsible for first and second year advising of co-op students. Okay, second is my office, the Office of Honors and Scholar Development. And I specifically work with honors program students and high achieving students on national competitive fellowships. And we will have a meeting about that Wednesday at 2 p.m. on your schedule. So you're more than welcome to join us. And next we have tutoring and learning support services. And that is the next presentation following me. It's specifically information on how to support you academically at Howard, and then career services. So those are our 4 units. We are located on campus in the Carnegie Building, and we look forward to seeing all of you there when we return to campus. So a little bit about my work, because I specifically work with a vast majority of co-op students. Mostly 85 to 90% of my students are co-op students. And what we work on specifically is goal setting for postgraduate success in graduate schools and graduate school funding in the US and abroad. And we focus specifically on study abroad funding, research funding, and graduate funding. Okay, and then more resources specific to honors and scholar development are available on Blackboard, and you can join our Blackboard community by going to Blackboard and enrolling in the community by typing keyword honors and selecting honors and scholar development. All right, and then within there, and this is going to bring us back to setting goals, are resources specific to your development at Howard and your development in terms of being engaged in what I call high impact practices, where research has shown in higher education, there are certain activities that yield really great benefits when you're an undergraduate student, including study abroad, being engaged in community service, internships, and undergraduate research with faculty. Okay, so this is a guidebook that's available to all students to kind of discuss each one of these activities, both at Howard and in general. Okay, so postgraduate planning with the end in mind, right? So that big, beautiful butterfly that we've seen, that we want that to be you at graduation. So at this point right now, during orientation, we want you to think about what is the end game? Is it graduate school? Do you want to pursue a master's degree or a PhD? Professional school, you may be pre-law or pre-med. Do you want to be an entrepreneur, right? Or do you want to be employed in a field of interest in public service or private industry? Do you want to go abroad for some time? Or do you really want to be ingrained in public service, whether it's the military, civil service, or foreign service? So think about these things. And for the next 2 or 3 years, we want you to develop a pathway to explore all of these options. And it could be, and likely will be, more than one or a combination of several, right? So explore and learn about everything. And eventually, you need to sit down and think specifically about your plan and how do you get ultimately to that postgraduate goal, right? So you can right now think about your first year, your second year, your third year, and your fourth year, right? And what might you envision those spaces looking like, right? So this is just an example of what you can sit down and think about doing this year, right? So here are some goals. Set a GPA goal, complete your Career Center profile on Handshake, talk to a study abroad advisor, and try to establish an internship, right? So that is an example of a first year plan. Here's an example of a second year plan, right? Slowly raise your GPA, because as Howard students always tell me, once you start raising your GPA, you just open yourself up to more and more opportunities, right? Just by focusing on that GPA. And we want our students to establish faculty mentors, right? So if there's a class that you enjoy taking, get to know the faculty, because ultimately your faculty members are going to support you in your postgraduate plans. And that is going to specifically be with letters of recommendations. So you want to make sure that you are developing a core group of 2 to 4 faculty that you can come to, talk about your career plans, talk about your research, and talk about their research as well. You do not want to graduate without a faculty network. So make sure that you focus on that by at least your second year. And then these are just additional examples of developing a third-year plan and then your fourth-year plan. So the idea really is to take advantage of all that Howard has to offer. This is an amazing place with amazing energy, and we want to help you navigate that. So as I said, explore everything. And this week, if you can, go to Handshake and start your Handshake profile so you can understand all of the opportunities that exist. And then in some cases, many of my students and our students just don't know, and they don't know where to start, and they don't know what they're interested in. And I was that student in undergrad. So we do have a career assessment survey that focuses specifically on your individual personality and what you're interested in and what drives your own happiness in you as a unique being. So we encourage you to take what we call the Super Strong survey. So it's going to evaluate you and then make some suggestions on career areas that might suit you as an individual. So that is it for me, Dr. Davis. And again, we will have a session on scholar development on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Thank you.
Dr. Miller, thank you so much for that very, very enlightening and engaging discussion here. And we hope that our students listen to it. I've learned something also. I think I'll set myself some goals for the next 4 years, which might include retirement. Thank you so very much. At any rate, we're going to move on to our next presenter, Mr. Kuderick Covington, who is the Tutor Services Coordinator, also in the college, in the Office of Undergraduate Studies, who will talk to us about the importance of developing good study habits. Mr. Covington.
Thank you so much, Dr. Davis, and welcome to all of our incoming students. I am sure you will enjoy your time at the Mecca. I am Kuderick Covington, and I serve as a Tutoring Center Coordinator in the Office of Undergraduate Studies, along with Dr. Joycelyn Hughes, who is not here today, but she do send her greetings to you all. All right. So as Dr. Miller just said, we are a unit of OUS, which includes the Center of Academic Excellence, Honors and Scholar Development, Office of Career Services, and then our unit, which is Tutoring and Learning Support Services. We focus very heavily on science, math, study skills, supplemental instruction, as well as in summer bridge program. All right, so Tutoring and Learning Support Services. Our office actually housed the tutors, for our tutoring center. Last year we had about 30 tutors. We offer peer-to-peer tutor, absolutely free of charge for Howard University students. Now that everything is virtually, we will be offering remote online tutoring service beginning on Monday, September the 14th, 2020. As you can see, right here on the list, it really goes in detail about how to set up an academic tutoring appointment with your Bison tutors. You will make an appointment on Bison Advisor. If you guys have not checked out Bison Advisor, please do so. Any of your tutoring needs that you need will be housed on this platform. Our tutoring service really, we cover a large range of things from computer science to bio to chemistry, just anything dealing with math and science, you can find it at TLSS. All right, online platforms and resources that we use Blackboard, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Suite, as well as G Suites. So our tutors have access to all of these platforms to engage with you all. So if you only have Zoom, Blackboard, guess what? We have you covered on that area as well. Life skills workshops. So each semester, our office also covers life skills. Life skills workshops are normally led by Dr. Joycelyn Hughes. As you can see, we have the Howard Woman for all of our Howard women who are coming in. That will be on September the 2nd and November the 4th from 6 to 5, as well as a host of other programs that you can see. All of these workshops are held on Zoom as well as Microsoft Teams. Study skills. I host a study skills. As you can see, on August the 27th, Thursday, from 5 to 6, we will be talking about Cornell note taking. All of these will be held on Zoom. You do have to register. A Zoom link will be sent out to everyone. All you have to do is reply. Once you reply, we will then send you the access code for these study skills workshops. All right, so we are part of the OUS HBCU Student Success Project at Howard. And what this is, Lumina Foundation has granted Howard University, Dillard University, Morgan State University with some funds to make sure that we are focusing in on student success, primarily second-year student success. But what the ideal is that, hey, we need to ensure that our students at Howard University have access to academic programs, as well as making sure that they can graduate on time within their 4 years. So second year experience at Howard University, this is where we engage second year students, understanding that you guys are freshmen right now, so this does not necessarily apply to you. However, after your freshman year, we have a spot for you in TLSS in our second year experience program. In this program, we have mentors, Mecca made mentors that lead our second year students in really helping them. We also have a professional certification program for our first year students. And there's certain competencies that you attain: badges, badge attainment, critical thinking, problem solving, oral written communications, digital technology, professionalism, work ethic, career management. And so this is something in particular just for our first year cohort students. So I encourage you to please look out for your emails. We will be sending out information for professional certificate program. The applications for this will open on Tuesday, August the 18th. We will be accepting about 100 students. So I really hope that if you want to grow professionally, as well as being a cohort model with other students during your first year, please make sure you check out your emails for professional certificate program. And that is all for me. Thank you so much, Dr. Davis, for the opportunity.
And we thank you, Mr. Covington. Students, I hope that you're listening very carefully to all of these opportunities that you can take advantage of at Howard. We're going to move into a segment now presented by our wonderful Howard students. I always comment on the wonderful students that we have at Howard University. They are just absolutely great in everything. Last year, I visited the planet Mars, and I had to say in Martian language that we have wonderful students at Howard. It sounds somewhat like this in Martian. Anyway, we explained it to them that Howard has the best students in the world, and we're so very pleased to have with us this morning the representatives from the student council leadership, the president, Mr. Temilolua Adanlawo, I hope I didn't mess up his name too badly, who is the president, and Miss Lauren Lowe, vice president. Okay. I think I heard her refer to our president as Temi yesterday. We'll call you that from the remainder of the time here. All right. You have it. Our student council leaders.
Hello, everybody. How are y'all? Okay, we're about to share the screen. All right, everybody can see my screen. We're just waiting for Lauren to get back on. But while we wait, we could just get to know each other. So where is everybody from? I'm Temilolua Adanlawo, a junior biology major, chemistry minor from Union, New Jersey. So everyone can just comment in the comment section, like what part of the world they're from, what state they're from, just so we can see all the different states, countries that COAS has. New York, I'm seeing Chicago, California, Florida. Okay, North Carolina, all caps, okay. No one else from Jersey? No one else is from New Jersey? Okay, Nia Carter, Jersey, New Orleans. All right. So this is just to show the diversity that COAS has, like, and that's just not with COAS, that's with Howard overall. You will meet people from everywhere, different countries. You will meet people from different states. You will meet people, just a whole bunch of people. So the diversity in COAS, the diversity in Howard is just a lot. Yeah, okay. So, all right, everybody can see the slides, or no, it's not sharing?
No.
Now it's showing, right? All right, yeah, we're just waiting for Lolo.
Yeah.
He had some connection issues.
Their presentation is called Successfully Negotiating Howard University by the students there.
Yes.
If you have a song that you'd like to share with us while we wait, we will listen to you, Mr. Adanlawo.
Okay, how do I put the music on that?
Okay.
All right, let me see. I'm about to.
This was not planned, but it shows you the versatility of our students at Howard University. And if any faculty member or chair wants to be backup singer, you may do that as well. Okay.
Yeah,
I mentioned that Dr. Pointer was former member of the Pointer Sisters.
All right, she's almost on. Other than that, okay, yeah, Lauren said she's about to be on right now, so we're about to start.
Okay. We're not going to get the song then, I guess.
Okay. There's what the song?
Yeah, it's a good intermission for us.
Okay.
What I'll do while we wait for Lauren to join us is to start addressing some of the questions in the Q&A, and a lot of them are very similar. So Timmy, you can let me know when Lauren is on and I'll stop. But one of the questions, she's on?
No, not yet.
Okay, so one of the primary questions is, how do I declare a minor? First of all, as Dr. Davis stated, a minor is required in the College of Arts and Sciences. However, you don't have to declare that minor today. You don't have to know exactly what your minor is going to be at this point. What I'd recommend is that you work with your academic advisor to help strategize a program that's suitable for you. And as you think about things that you're interested in, as you think about your personal career trajectory, that will help you determine the minor that you decide to incorporate in your program. When you're ready to declare your minor, you may refer to the registrar's website. On that website, under the Forms tab, you'll find a form that actually says declare major, declare minor. And you just identify what that is. You get the permission of the Associate Dean, who's Dr. Davis, to sign off on that, and the form is submitted to the registrar, and it's just that simple. But again, you do want to work closely with your academic advisor to ensure that you are developing a strategy for fitting that minor into your overall graduation degree requirements. There's a question about donor scholarships. I'm always hesitant to mention that with freshmen because freshmen typically are not awarded donor scholarships. Donor scholarships are very specific, and we have to follow specific guidelines for awarding them. But in doing so, what we also want to ensure is that you're committed to COAS. So we don't want to award a student a couple $1,000s in their first semester, and then second semester they transfer into the School of Education. That's a loss for us. So again, we want to ensure your commitment to the college before awarding the major, awarding the scholarship. We want to ensure that you have attained GPA that shows that you're scholarship worthy. And at that time, you can, well, typically going into the sophomore year, you can come to the Office of Student Affairs in COAS to request a form. And the information that you provide on that form helps us to identify scholarships that you may be eligible for. Timmy, again, let me know when you're ready.
Ready right now. I was just about to cut you off.
Ready? Okay,
Yep.
I'll stop. Thank you.
All right. So hello, everybody. Hello. Lauren's here now. So
Hello, I'm sorry about that. My Wi-Fi kind of cut out, so I had to change locations.
Okay, so like I said, my name is Temi Lolua Adenlawo. I'm a junior biology major, chemistry minor from Union, New Jersey, and I'll be serving as the president this year of the College of Arts and Sciences.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Lowe. I'm a rising junior chemistry major, history and biology double minor from Houston, Texas, and I'll be serving as the vice president of the College of Arts and Sciences Student Council this year.
So before we get into the presentation, we just wanted to give like little brief stories or like a brief summary of our matriculation through Howard so far. So I came into Howard HU22. First thing I joined on campus, I joined Freshman Leadership Academy. I then joined Gentlemen of Drew Social Club, just was getting involved in a bunch of different things on campus. I saw that I wanted to get into some type of leadership position. So I decided that, okay, I'm gonna try and become the secretary of COAS Council. And I did become that. I then later on said, okay, like maybe I can become president of council. And I became president as well. I also joined Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. That was just another recent thing. And now we're here, so.
Okay, and so my Howard journey started with my mother because she graduated from Howard in 1991, and she always kind of was really, if you know any Howard alumni, they're very, very passionate about their alma mater, and my mom is no exception, and she kind of raised me with this idea of Howard, and that I kind of just like got to know as I grew up. And I visited Howard when I was in high school, and I came, and I honestly just kind of fell in love with the culture, the people, the environment, and just, you know, the excellence, the atmosphere of the students that I saw when I came to campus. And so I ended up deciding to come to Howard and majoring in chemistry on the pre-med track with the hopes of going to medical school once I graduate, like my mom did. And so at Howard, like Temi, I came and I joined the Freshman Leadership Academy. We're both members in the 9th class. And, you know, I also came in as a student athlete. I was a member of the track and field team. I was a hurdler, and because I hurdled in high school, and then I came in, ran on Howard's team for a year. And actually, interesting enough, I actually transferred into COAS. I came in as a chemical engineering major in CEA, and then I came and became a chemistry major. And so as a freshman, I ran and was elected to youth senator, and I served as Senate my sophomore year, and kind of a student, we'll get into like the different student government later in the presentation. And so then my sophomore year, I ran and was elected vice president of the College of Arts and Sciences. And I also am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Alpha Chapter.
All right, so our COAS council, the name we've chosen this year is something different about our council this year is that we're 3 different slates. So most of us, we didn't run together till we ended up getting all voted in from different slates. So we call it operating within our network. Our treasurer is Pierce, our secretary is Mariah, our chief of staff is Joyce, and our deputy chief of staff is Jalen.
Okay, so it's going to be a very different first semester for you all. And so we want to kind of make sure the transition is as smooth as possible. So this kind of is just a list of resources that is going to be very helpful for the first semester. Well, honestly, for the rest of your Howard matriculation. And it's something that the information was kind of hard for me to find as a freshman. I remember asking, how do I get into my email? What kind of email is this? And just, what is Blackboard? How do all the different nuances of Bison Web? And so we kind of just wanted to put together a list of the important resources you're going to need, especially now that we're virtual. And so we can start off, like I said, with it. The first one is the Howard email. So everyone has a Bison email. If you have not already checked it, I recommend that you do so before school starts, because that is the way the majority of professors and faculty will contact you regarding courses and tests and syllabus, and just the different things like day-to-day and university correspondence all goes to your Bison email. So your Bison email is just your first name dot your last name, with some exceptions. There might be a number if your name was probably used for a previous email. So for like mine would be lauren.lowe@bison.howard.edu. And the faculties are the same except they don't have a Bison. So if you want to email, same as Truett, it'd be the same thing, but minus the Bison part. And so, yeah, it's actually a Gmail. So you would just go to google.com and then enter your full email in, and then that's how you log in. And so your password would be capital HU, your first initial, your last initial, and your birth date. And there's like an example on the slide, just so y'all can see. And if you haven't logged into your Bison email, like I said, I recommend you do so.
Okay, so Bison Web is a very important tool with navigating Howard. You see your schedule on here. You register for classes. You know if you have any holds or anything. You can see how many credit hours you're taking. You can see what financial aid you have. You can see what awards you need to accept before the deadlines. Because when Howard gives you money, you don't play with the money. You accept it and keep going. So, so you sign in with your student ID number. Everyone should get their student ID. Your password is your PIN. So it's your birthday with no dashes unless you change it yourself. Like I said, you can add, drop, change classes. You do your schedule, you pay your bill, update your personal information. You can check your degree works, which we'll get into. Really look at Bison Web for real, because you can see a lot of there's so many things that Bison Web can do and help you further matriculate through Howard.
Especially in your first year with the classes, like that's kind of, I know you don't get to pick your classes your first semester, but you can change them before the add drop period ends, which is 2 weeks after the first start of classes. So you can, once we start classes next week, you can change them with the meeting with your advisor. And so if you want to go on Bison Web, you can explore the list of different classes offered for this semester and what's like possible for you to take this semester.
Most of the time, I know as freshmen, our schedules are already made. So like you should really, unless you're like changing a major or maybe you came in on the wrong major or something, but really like your schedule, that first schedule should be pretty solid with what they give you, because Howard's setting you up for the rest of your school based off the major you chose. So really don't play around with your trying to change stuff. Oh, I want to be in a class with this person or anything like that. Like keep that first semester real solid so that the rest of your years are real easy.
Okay. And then Blackboard is kind of just how all the professors will put their syllabi, they'll update your grades, you can submit assignments, and there's a lot of different nuances. And so since this is a virtual semester, some of your classes will be on Blackboard, and it's called like Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. And you'll see it, professors will give you more information if whether or not they're going to use Zoom or Blackboard to conduct their online classes. In the spring, I had one on Blackboard and have several ones on Zoom. So Blackboard is like really important. And they also have an app on the App Store, so you can download it on your phone and you can get like real-time updates about, a lot of professors will put in deadlines for assignments, so you can have those reminders automatically sent to your phone. So in case you might forget an assignment, it's Friday night and you have an assignment due, it will update your phone, and so you can see, make sure you get it in, and just like all the professor's information and content will be on Blackboard. And you also can figure out a way to email your professor through Blackboard and other students in your courses through Blackboard as well.
Yeah, because we're online, Blackboard is it was important, but now it's very, very important. Blackboard, you're gonna see your grades on there, your syllabus. Make sure you read those syllabus, because you will see like due dates that before they even give you the assignment, you'll already know what's coming. Everything is really lined out. You'll know the percentage, how much a quiz is worth. If you have 10 quizzes, how much all of those. If you get any drop tests. I know a lot of teachers, and well, with biology, my major, a lot of teachers do like that one drop test. You'll take 5 tests and 1 gets dropped. All of that is in your syllabus. So make sure you're reading those syllabuses, make sure you have like content. You go into your content folder in Blackboard for each teacher and see what they have in there. So you just know already beforehand, you're not trying to play catch up, you're prepared already.
And like you said, please read your syllabi at the beginning as soon as you can get it. It will tell you so much information about the semester, deadlines, and it can kind of help explain like the assignments you have or the way the class is going to be set up. So the syllabi is very, very important to read, and it has a lot of information on it, like professor's information, your test dates, homework type and style. So please like read your syllabi. It's really important and it'll really, really help you. And something that I find really helpful, what I did usually every first week of classes, I'll read this every class's syllabi, and I will write all the big due dates down in a calendar, which I highly recommend. So for example, I just got my genetics syllabus like last week. And so I already went in my Google Calendar and wrote all the test dates in, so I can already see when my tests are going to be. And so I recommend doing that for every class. And it's not just tests, it could be projects, assignments, rehearsal, just presentations, performances. It's really helpful. And I highly recommend as well that you all have like a calendar or a planner and keep tabs on that to write down all of your assignments and anything else that you need, because it will help you stay just organized and just on top of your business, especially because now it's really weird because we're not going to be moving from place to place. We'll just be kind of at one computer for the virtual semester. So something to just help remind us of all the tasks we need to do.
Yeah, with Zoom is our best friend this year for real. Zoom is who we're gonna be with for a minute. So with that, just make sure like when there's events and stuff that will be on Zoom, interact as much as you can. Make sure you're getting onto those Zoom events. You don't want your semester just to be online school, nothing else. You want to make sure that you meet somebody. You can meet somebody through a Zoom call. You feel me? So like, just make sure you're getting on those Zooms, interacting, trying to make the best of this situation that we have with being online. Okay, so DegreeWorks is basically somewhere where you can see like your whole, like what classes you need to take. It tells you how much of how close you are to getting your degree, how many credits you need left, how many divisional courses you need to take. You can also perform the what if, which is what if I was a political science major with a biology minor, how far am I along with my degree? And it will show you exactly how much you have left. It's just basically to show you your academic standing, your GPA, what classes you need left to take. So DegreeWorks is a very useful tool as well.
Especially just for co-op students, because we do have a lot of divisionals. And so each major has different requirements for divisionals. So being a STEM major, I had to take 2 humanity classes, but I don't have to take any science classes as a poli-sci student would have to, because I'm taking pretty much my entire curriculum is STEM classes. So that's something that's really important, especially because we have to take just a lot of different classes: swimming, speech, foreign language, divisionals, humanities, social sciences. And so just keeping track of all those extra requirements that other colleges and schools do not have. So this is just kind of a list of resources that you can use. And, a lot of these places have physical locations on Howard's campus, but also they're going to be really able to help while we're going to be virtual. So you can just reach out to them online or through email. And so one of them is like really important that you utilize is the Office of Undergraduate Studies. And this is kind of just to ensure that students are able to matriculate in 4 years and get all the requirements and just kind of making sure they earn their degree. It's located in the 2nd floor of Carnegie Building, which is on the Yard and Howard's campus. And they have different divisions within the office. And so a lot of them are geared towards helping students stay focused on academics. And so like some of them, the divisions are the Office of Scholarly Development, Office of Career Services, the Tutoring and Learning Support Services, and the Center of Academic Excellence, which are your all your advisors will be. So each group of majors or each major will have their own advisor to help them, figure out the best plan for achieving their degree and working out their 4-year plan. And I saw one of the questions, like, if you can reach out to your advisor, but if they don't respond, definitely try to reach out to someone who's not your major advisor, because a lot of them can still help you with a lot of their concerns, even if they aren't necessarily your major. But especially another COAS advisor, because they'll be familiar with all the requirements that you have to take. And then the new student orientation, which is we are currently in the process of right now.
Okay. The Center for Tutoring and Learning Supporting Services. All right, so we just had a presentation on this by Mr. Covington, but so the Center for Tutoring and Learning Support Services offers free tutoring service for certain courses. Another thing is the Writing Center. The Writing Center really helped me my freshman year. They'll help you. They'll break down your prompt with you. You can bring in something written already, rough draft, and they'll come and help you fix certain things on it. Or even if you don't know where to start, they'll help you start it. I know a lot of people may struggle with writing. I'm one of those people. I'm not the best essay writers, but going to the Writing Center definitely helped me. So use all these things like the tutoring and learning support services. Use all of those tools to be able to help yourself. They're there, so why not? We're paying for school, so why not use them?
Okay. So just to give you a breakdown of student government at Howard, I know when I was a freshman, I was really confused on the different branches and types. And so this is like a really good analogy that a lot of people use. So we're going to start with the Howard University Student Association, HUSA, a word you'll hear a lot if you haven't learned. Howard loves acronyms. We have a lot, and so that's one of them, HUSA exec, and that is. So we'll start with that one. So that's going to be similar to the White House. It's going to be similar to the presidency. We have a vice president, Rachel Howell, and we have a president, Rachel Howell, and a vice president, Michael Franklin, and they kind of oversee everything with Howard. That includes the undergraduate and COAS and all the different schools, and then the entire undergraduate school, as well as the dental school, law school, medical school, divinity school, and all the other different graduate schools that Howard University has. So they oversee all of that. So like I said, close to the White House, so like the executive branch of the United States government. HUSA Senate is similar to Congress, and that it has different committees and it oversees budget and legislation. So that's kind of what they do. And each college and school at Howard has at least 2 senators. And if it's a larger college, it has more. So for example, COAS has 7 senators, but SOB only has 3. So it just depends on the total population of each college. And so Senate, like I said, it really helps with legislation of the Howard University Constitution and student constitution. So it kind of just adds amendments to it in regards to student government. And then we also have a policy board, which is sort of like the Supreme Court. And so it's not really listed, but it's the third and final branch to complete the analogy to the United States. And as well as so we also have the undergraduate councils. And each school and college has their own council. So we are the council for the College of Arts and Sciences, the undergraduate aspect. And so most councils have a vice president, a president, a treasurer, and a secretary, and often a chief of staff and deputy chief of staff. And so for ours, it was listed earlier in the slide. And so I can kind of explain a little bit the breakdown of COAS Student Council. So COAS this year has 6 different divisions, and the different departments are external affairs, student advocacy, communications, logistics, mental health, and pre-professional development. And mental health is a new one we added this year. And so if you go to all of our social medias will be linked at the end, but if you want to go and learn more about each different department and see who's, working in the council, the staff members, that's definitely something that will be all listed on our student council page on Instagram and Twitter. Oh, do you want to talk about Royal Court, Temmie? Or and then you just say.
All right, so Royal Court is basically like the kings and queens of Howard. So there's Mr. and Mrs. Howard University. We have them. Then we have each school also has a Royal Court. So we have Mr. and Mrs. Coas. Dorms also have their own Royal Court, their own court as well. So you have Miss Annex, you have Miss CHN, Mr. Drew. Like it's just, so we have a bunch of different Mr. and Mrs. UGSA. Basically, they throw those events, those big events that everyone sees, and those reasons why people want to come to Howard. Oh, this person came to Howard, this person came to Howard. UGSA is usually responsible. They're the event entity of Howard for real. First Fridays in Punch Out, that's UGSA. Taste of Howard, make sure everybody tune in. That is also UGSA. So they throw the events.
And Spring Fest as well, which is in the spring, just kind of like a homecoming, but in the spring and more for students. So that's what they throw. They have all the programming bodies.
Okay, so get involved with council. So there is a freshman council. There will be president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer who will get elected by their peers. With that, they'll be able to throw events for their class. It'll be just a better connection between us and the freshmen, because now we have like a liaison in between. The COAS companion, a buddy system, a good way to meet other COAS students and hold each other accountable during virtual classes. So that's something that we're going to be starting with, that where you will basically just have someone who will make sure that you are all right mentally, emotionally, physically, like, and you're doing well in classes, you're okay with the virtual classes, so that when we do return to campus, it's not just like everyone's shying away from each other. People already have been communicating. It's just oh, how you been? And keep it moving. We will be having interns as well. Intern applications for council will drop in the fall. And interns will just be under the different departments. So it'll be about 2 interns in each department. And with that, you'll just be helping around, learning how to do certain things, how to work with Engage, how to do event proposals and make sure how we get funding for these events and stuff. So that's what the intern will learn. And the street team is usually massive. It's a lot of people on the street team, and the street team is people who basically let everyone knows that what events are going on. So if we were on campus, you'd be on the yard handing out little flyers. Oh, there's paint and sip in South today. Pull up, everybody come through type stuff. But now that we're online, this will be more of just you using your social medias to make sure that everyone can see, like, okay, we got to get on this Zoom call at 8. Something is going on. There's an event at 8. So the street team is basically who lets the rest of the campus know, like, this is what's going on. Let's go. Let's all do this. They're the lively people of COAS.
Also, just going back to the COAS companion, those applications will be dropping sometimes in September, working with the student advocacy department on that. And that's just really like an accountability system. Also a way, since we're not in person, to meet other freshmen who can either be in your major or not in your major. And just like Tammy was saying, like, stay on top of the classes and, you know, be like, hey, like, if it's helpful if you're in the same major, did you do this, or same class? Like, did you do this assignment? Do you know this professor? Just kind of giving each other tips on kind of doing this virtual semester and just staying on top of everything. And so and also like, so we can come back in the spring and know people and kind of have a little system of people and network that, you know. So our plan is to have like a little buddy, and then have the buddy be into like an entire group that y'all get to know, and have like, you know, group message and whatever, and just get to know each other more and more this semester. And those applications will be dropping. We also had a mentorship program application drop a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to be reopening it in in a week or 2 for the second round. If you want to apply to get a mentor, please do come. At the end, you'll see all our social media information as well. And so you can see the link will be on our bio. So if you want to go on our Instagram page, that's how you can apply to get a mentor. And so we definitely recommend, if you really want some guidance, so you can get guidance from a Howard University COAS student.
And last but not least, our Twitter. our email address and our Instagram. Go follow us. Right now we're doing our weekly challenge. So our HU24 challenges. Yesterday was we had to post a picture with a smile, show your little white teeth. So just check the Instagram to come see what we're doing today. Our Twitter actually is OwnCoas at OwnCoas. You'll see it. It'll be in the Instagram. We'll put it on Instagram as well. So go ahead and follow. And yeah, thank you.
And just to answer like one of the questions in regards to like accessing DegreeWorks and Blackboard would just look up on Google blackboard.howard.edu, and DegreeWorks is actually through Bison Web. So if you go to student services, student records, there should be a tab that says DegreeWorks, and that will take you to DegreeWorks through Bison Web. So thank you all so much, and please follow our social media so you can stay up to date on everything.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you have just seen are perfect examples of our wonderful students at Howard University. Thank you, King and Queen of our students. Excellent work you've done. We thank you. So we're going to go back to Ms. Truitt to continue with our questions and answers. Ms. Truitt, do you have another general question that we can address here?
Yes, we actually have several. I'll address the first two questions to Dr. Daniel Williams. Dr. Williams, would you please describe the process for applying for the honors program? And the second question is about the math placement exam. Will there be further opportunities to take the math placement exam prior to school starting?
Honors program. We get a list from enrollment management of the students who meet the thresholds we set for the year for invites, and then the process continues at that point. You send out invitations. You have to respond to the invitation. You then, depending on your department, the application is reviewed by a committee, and then decisions are made. So if you, but we also admit students as sophomores after a year. So if you did not meet the qualifications, then after a year, if you have a GPA of at least 3.5 and you've taken 30 credit hours or more of courses, then the process will be the same for you as a sophomore year. All right. So that's the answer to the first question. The second question, the math placement exam. The math placement exam is mostly operated through OUS. I am, of course, I'm part of the process though as well. They set deadlines to try to make it possible to register all these students in a timely way. So when you don't make these deadlines, when you don't meet the deadlines, it puts a lot of stress on the system. But it is still the case that you need that math placement exam score before we can put you into a math course. So the answer is, the short answer is yes, you can always take the math placement exam. We're going to have that thing running through at least the drop period. But it's just, so that might have been the question, or maybe your question was maybe the student maybe had took it and they wanted another chance at it. There is actually, it's actually programmed to give you 2 opportunities if you did not do well enough to score in the place that you wanted to score in. But it requires more time spent in the prep and learning module practicing. We don't just allow you to take exam after exam. And so I think that answers the questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Williams. There's a question about testing out of Spanish 1. Dr. Davis, would you take that, please?
Okay. Yes, if you can take the placement examination and place out of Spanish 1. You can actually place out of Spanish 2. You can actually place out of Spanish 3. You can actually place out of Spanish 4, depending on your level of knowledge and that and the language. And I emphasize this again, that students, you do not need to necessarily start in level 1. Our level 1 classes are often overloaded with students who are what we call false beginners. You're starting out in the language, but you've had 2 or 3 years in high school. So you would be to your advantage to try to take a higher level of the language, not just Spanish, but French or any of the other languages that we offer at Howard University. I'll just tag on quickly and say that you don't have to continue the study of the same language that you did in high school. You can explore a new language when you come to Howard. And of course, the obvious is that you do not begin in a level higher than the level 1. If you're starting a brand new language, Swahili, you've never had it before, you take level 1. But certainly you can place out of all of the levels if necessary. Okay?
There's a question, my father is a veteran. How do I make sure I get my benefits? We have an Office of Student Services. If you will send me an email to Tracy, T-R-A-C-Y, Truitt, T-R-U-I-T-T, at howard.edu, I will give you the coordinator's name for the Veteran Services Program. Can someone elaborate again on what is Blackboard? What is the Blackboard URL login, and how do you know? Can one of the chairs take that?
Or maybe Dr. Lewis?
About Black, go ahead, I'm sorry.
What is Blackboard? What is the Blackboard URL? And what is the login to Blackboard?
So that question probably is a Dean Davis question or another person. I'm not familiar with the login process for the students.
Okay, my mistake.
Yeah, courses are automatically linked to Blackboard as one of the platforms when you in the system. So teachers may use something different, but Blackboard automatically comes with your course. It is a platform that is used to keep up with student grades and to let you know your progress during the course. The best way to find out about how Blackboard is going to be used is to attend class and find out how your particular teacher is going to use it. But you will get, you will be connected to Blackboard by merely signing up for a certain class. Okay, I don't know the URL and all of that for that, but you will find that out with the particular class of how to access. Anybody want to add to that?
Yeah, I can add to it too.
Please.
So if you go to blackboard.howard.edu, you'll see instructions specifically on how to create an account. And when you go into the account, you'll actually, in some cases, you'll see courses listed that you are already going to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just blackboard.howard.edu. And you will need to have your Bison ID number. And generally, the first time that you log in, your password is going to be your 6-digit Bison web PIN.
Thank you, Dr. Miller.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And it's not called Blackboard because it's at Howard. It's a general format, although it does help. All right, Ms. Truitt, an additional question?
Yes. There's a question about how to apply to the BSMD. That there's an orientation program being directed specifically toward that issue with Miss Julie Andrist. So, and I don't remember the specific date of the orientation, but it is listed on the orientation agenda that I sent you. If you attend that orientation, you will learn the process for enrollment in that program. Similar to that question is about pre-law. Pre-law is not a major, but a program. And Ms. Andrus will also be giving information about pre-law requirements and the things that you need to prepare for as one who's interested in pursuing a career in the legal field. So again, I'd ask you to refer to the orientation agenda that I forwarded, and please, if possible, take part in that orientation session. If you're not available to participate in this session, either for the BSMD or the law program, Ms. Andrus does provide her contact information via email so that you can send those questions directly to her. There is a pre-law program that operates out of the political science department. I think the history department also has pre-law advisors. If Dr. Perry and or Dr. Nikki Taylor would like to respond to how those programs work in their departments, that would be helpful.
Thank you, Ms. Truitt. Yes, history has a pre-law program, and there's specific set of, I think, 10 courses that are specifically related to people who would like to pursue a law degree afterwards. And so we not only train you in the core competencies that you need to pursue a law career, but the content as well. For example, we have courses, my course this semester, African Americans and State-Sponsored Injustice. And that is one example of a course. We have reparations course, reparations in the law and slavery in the law. So if you need more information, I'll be having a Zoom meeting at noon today for that.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Dr. Perry, did you want to add to that related to the political science department? He might be muted, but
Let me also just chime in, if I might, Ms. Truitt.
Yes.
Yes, we're starting, in fact, this fall with 2 new BA JD degree programs, one out of political science and the other one out of philosophy, where students will complete their first 3 years of their degree in one of those 2 fields. And then the last year will be actually their first year at the Howard University Law School. And then after the completion of the first year, then they will receive their BA degree. And then of course, after 2 more years, they would also receive their JD degree. We started with political science and philosophy, but we're going to be expanding that next year, including sociology and criminology and other fields as well. So stay tuned.
And Dr. Patterson, I assume that information will be posted on our website. Would that be correct?
That should be there. And if not, then I'll take responsibility for that error and we'll see that it gets up there expeditiously.
Okay.
Dr. Patterson, in addition, they can reach out to the director of the BA-JD program, who is Dr. Brandon Hogan in the Department of Philosophy. And his email address, which I'll put in the chat, but I'll go ahead and say it now, is Brandon, BRADON .Hogan, HOGAN @howard.edu. And I believe the program is currently accepting applications from incoming freshmen.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. There's a question about ordering books. And I know that our bookstore is currently open. I'm not sure about the process for shipping books or ordering ebooks. If any chair can respond to that, or if Dr. Davis can respond to that, that would be helpful. If not, you can certainly send me an email and I'll follow up with the bookstore to get more information about that. I also think many of your professors will be providing that information in the course syllabi as to how to get ebooks, things of that nature. So again, if any chair can respond to that, that would be helpful. Otherwise, I'll research the information and send it to all of the students.
Howard University has a great library, and many of the books that we assign in the history department are found on the library's website for free, ebooks. And so not as many of, for example, people in my department require students to purchase books because they're available for free on the library's website to Howard students.
And I encourage you not to purchase materials before you get your syllabi to know exactly what you're being required to take, what edition of the text you're going to use, or to see if the course is going to use handouts rather than textbooks and all of that. So do not try to pre-purchase your books just to be ahead of time. We don't want to get the wrong information. And to keep in mind that the Howard University Bookstore is the official repository for textbooks at the university. So your faculty will inform you how and what to get, how to purchase.
Thank you. Lauren or Timmy, would you please respond to, or would you please elaborate on the mentorship program that you explained that's operating through the COAS Student Council?
Yes, I can. So within our student advocacy department and within COAS, we are going to have a mentorship program for AG 24. And the link will be on our social media pages. On Instagram, the handle is COAS Student Council. And on Twitter, the new one is own, like our name, own COAS. And so we'll have the links to the mentorship programs, especially through the Instagram. And so that's going to be reopening in I believe a couple of weeks. And so you can so I did close. We did have some of you all know applied, and we are currently working on those mentorship pairings right now. And so we just need to we'll do the second round of applicants, and that'll be coming in a couple of weeks or so. Just be on the lookout for our social media page. That'll be like the best way to see all information, all links regards to council. So please follow the Instagram page. Like I said, it's at COAS Student Council.
Thank you. Dr. Tony, there's a question related to math course placement. Students took the math placement exam, but was placed in a lower level math class. Would you please explain how the courses are assigned, and also what the add drop process is like at Howard?
Hello, I'm Jill McGowan. I'm here for Dr. Tony. The way that the student gets assigned to the entry-level math class depends on their score on the placement test. There's a cutoff for each entry-level math class. The absolute lowest level that you can place into is a credit-bearing course, and it carries the same credit and the same prerequisite value as College Algebra 1. It's Math 005. The add drop process, I'm less familiar with, but if you're talking about changing out of the math class that you tested into, you need permission for that, and you probably would need to retake the math placement test. Does that answer the question?
I think so.
Dan, do you have anything else to say about that?
No, you pretty much said, so, yeah, yeah, you pretty much hit it on the nose. You'd have to retake it, and we've set it up so that you can retake it once. I mean, you can't keep, there's very little time left, and the retake is a process. It's not just taking the test, it's preparing for it as well. But that is a possibility.
So Dr. Taylor, would you mind discussing the Mellon Mays program? I think students will benefit from that discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Patterson. In addition to our pre-law program, the history department also hosts a really phenomenal program called the Mellon Mays Undergraduate Fellowship Program. And the program is explicitly designed to help prepare you to get a PhD so that you can be a professor like us. Great career, by the way. So we do a lot of mentoring, and we also provide much needed resources and advising for students so that when they finish their BA, you go immediately into a PhD program. Last year, which was our first year this past fall, of our seniors, all of them got into PhD programs, fully funded. So that means they pay $0 for their PhD programs. And so it's a really exceptional program. Only the most elite people usually are in this program, and I happen to run it. So come email me at nikki.taylor@howard.edu or email me and I can set up a Zoom meeting to tell you more about it. You would enter as a sophomore. Thank you, Dr. Patterson.
By the way, Dr. Taylor, were you a Mellon Mays fellow also?
Yes, I was at the University of Pennsylvania. Thank you.
There's a question about changing the language class. And yes, you can change your language class through the add-drop period. I'd recommend that you follow the university's calendar for the add-drop period. Someone has an interest in Swahili, which I'm sure Dr. Mwaka would be very pleased to share more about. There's actually going to be a session geared toward the Howard University language classes later this week, actually tomorrow, I think, but that information, the link for that session is forthcoming. But yes, you can change your language. You do not have to remain in a class that you were assigned to, that you're not interested in pursuing. Dr. Mwaka, would you like to add anything to that at this point?
He's muted.
Yeah, it's very true that you can change a language, and let me just make sure this is on. You can change your language and take any other language. We have 16 languages, so you are free to change from French to Spanish, Spanish to Somali, Somali to Arabic, all of these languages. So yes, and we'll have a session tomorrow at 1 p.m. Please be sure to join us. We'll be able to give you more information.
Thank you. Professor Deborah Johnson, would you like to explain Howard's swim requirement and how or if a student can test out of it?
Yes, no problem. The swim requirement dates back a long time ago that the Board of Trustees felt it necessary for our students to learn how to swim. And basically, historically, we as a culture were denied access to swimming And so there were a few HBCUs that started swim programs or teaching swimming. To test out, you must first register for the class, and probably either the first 2 weeks of the class, the instructors will take you through look at your skill set. And by midterm, if your skill sets are up to the standards of the American Red Cross, which is who we have to follow, then you'll be able to test out. And they also have you sign, the instructors have you sign a contract, understanding that these are the skills that you must be almost proficient in and have knowledge of, and then you can go ahead and test out. But you must be registered in the class so that you can get a grade for swimming, okay?
Thank you. Dr. Tulin, would you like to share how the Latin and Greek courses in the Department of Classics also meet COAS foreign language requirements?
Oh, yes, thank you, Dean Truitt. We offer a full suite of courses in Latin and also in ancient Greek, and they also meet the foreign language requirement, I believe. And so if anybody's interested, you can sign up for Latin 1 this semester or in any subsequent semester, or you can test out of Latin 1 and Latin 2 if you've done this in high school, and just contact me in the classics department and we'll work out whatever you need. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Truitt,
yes.
I need to say this before I forget it. You've mentioned add drop. I just want to reiterate to students the difference between drop and withdraw and all of that. During the first part of the semester, there's an opportunity to change your courses. As they've said, you can drop that course and your advisors will help you in the first year, and that course will disappear from your schedule, disappear from history for you. Now, you have an opportunity to withdraw from a course after the drop deadline, but keep in mind that that withdrawal after the deadline is going to earn for you a W on your transcript that will remain there permanently. So dropping is to disappear. Withdrawing from the course says that you're withdrawing at the end of after the add drop deadline has passed. And that is often something that students do not understand. The culture at Howard says we don't like to have a W on our transcript. We'd rather not see that. But I will just say to you, I'd rather see a W than an F. So if you are getting toward the end of the semester and you feel that you're not going to pass the course, yeah, the W will be there, but don't stay in a course that you know that you're doomed for failure, and just drop it. Make an intelligent decision to get out of that class before earning an F in the class that will remain on your record permanently. Also, just a quick note about a repeat class. If you earn an F in a class and take that class over, the higher grade that you earn will be used in the calculation of your GPA. But the F that you earned the first time around will remain on your transcript visually. It will not be used in the calculation of your GPA if you get a higher grade after repeating a course. Okay, more on that later when we talk about honors and all of that, but I'll just move on. But that's one of the things that we often are confronted with in the Office of Student Affairs that students don't quite understand. And we want to make sure that you start out knowing the difference between dropping and withdrawing and repeating classes and all of that. Thank you.
Very, very important information, Dr. Davis. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Lots of students have been emailing saying that they have not been able to receive responses from their advisors. And Lauren would like to offer some suggestions on that.
I see a lot of you were saying like a lot of your advisors aren't responding. So on the Office of Undergraduate Studies, there's a section, the Center for Academic Excellence, and they kind of have a list of the different advisors and staff. And, if one doesn't respond, you can try another one because, a lot of them are really helpful and want to help you figure out your schedule changes or regards to minoring and majoring. So that's like one way. So I would just going on to the Office of Undergraduate Studies and kind of exploring those pages. And that was a link in the presentation that we had. So if you just look up, I believe that it's just undergraduatestudies.howard.edu. So that's the link for that website, and it has, if you go to meet the CAE staff, has a list of a lot of the different academic advisors there that you can, and their emails, so they can help you figure out your concerns regarding scheduling in academic services.
And can I add something to that as well, Ms. Truitt?
Please, thank you.
So Lauren is absolutely right. If you could email your advisor directly, we ask that you give them at least 48 hours to reply because they're working with a lot of students. If you have not heard back in 48 hours, you can also email our general line, undergraduatestudies@howard.edu, and let us know your issue as well as your BISON ID number, as well as the advisor you've been trying to contact. That line is manned by several directors as well as the associate provost, and we try to work with our team to get you the information that you need. So again, that's undergraduatestudies@howard.edu. And we just need your BISON ID as well as the advisor you've been trying to reach after 48 hours.
And Ms. Truitt, I'd like to add that if you cannot get in touch with the OUS advisors, your departmental, if you really know what your major will be and you're really solid on that, you can get with the departmental advisors. And I always recommend that you contact your OUS advisor and your departmental advisor at least by your end of your freshman year, beginning of your sophomore year, so that the department is familiar with who you are. And if things come up and a glitch or a class that you need to get into, it's going to be your departmental advisor or the chair that will be able to assist. And again, your name, your ID, and using your Howard BISON email will be helpful. Some of you are sending Gmails and we don't know as department chairs, who are you? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Timmy, would you like to offer some suggestions on how one can run for student government positions?
Perfect. So freshmen, yours is going to be coming out in the fall, more towards the fall. But for like bigger positions, like within so president, secretary of COAS, Houston, stuff like that. Really, you can start off as an intern or anything. I didn't intern my freshman year, but what I did was I made sure I knew what I wanted to do. So in all your intentions at Howard, you have to make sure that you're true with those intentions. Like, don't do anything because you see someone else doing it. Do everything what's for you. What's for you won't pass you at Howard University. So if it's for you to do, you should do it. So you should start planning early on because election season at Howard gets really heated. Usually people start planning. I know I started planning when I ran for secretary. I started planning in November for an election that was in February, March. This year I started planning a little bit later, but still it was pretty early. It was before the whole second semester, before everything. You start getting your photos taken, the different stuff you'll be handing out at tabling and stuff. Another big thing, if you plan on running for anything, make sure you yourself is a genuine person as well. Don't just try and become friends with people just so you can get their vote, because a lot of people see through it. They'll see right through it. Oh, they're just trying to be my friend for a vote. If you want to be one of those people who are who students look up to, who students can see as a figurehead, or students can see, make sure you're actually a good person to the students that you are over, or make sure you're being good to all those students, because at the end of the day, people could see any like phony or fake vibes that people give off when they're trying to run for any position. So it's not a hard process to do. Honestly, if you want to do it, you're able to do it. So.
But also don't let that to like discourage or daunt you from running for student government. Please, if you haven't any interest at all, definitely reach out. Like we want as many people to get involved with student government in Howard. You know, for me, I never really came to Howard thinking, oh, I'm going to be co-host vice president. Like honestly, it just kind of happened where I just was thinking, I love Howard, you know, what can I do to help other students? You know, because Howard on around can happen, and what can I do to help a student not have to deal with it and learn from me and just kind of pass it along down the line. And so just advocate for different students. And so that's kind of just how I fell into this. And definitely, like, if you're interested in the government, definitely like don't let anything scare you. Even if Howard politics aside, it's just something that if you're interested in, you don't have to be any kind of major. You don't have to be poli-sci or legal comm or interested in politics. You know, both Temmie and I want to go to medical school. So we're both STEM. And we have political science. Mariah's a political science major. And so is JoJo, our chief of staff. So it's a lot of different variations and our staff have a wide variety of staff with all different types of majors. So please, you can get involved in student government no matter what you want to do in life. I have no desire to be a politician in my career, but I am a politician at Howard. So if that's what you want to call it. But so please, if you're really interested in government, you know, don't let anything to stop you. You literally just go for everything. That's one thing I will say is for your first semester, go for everything. Don't be afraid of failure because you will never know unless you try. So that's my little tip for student government.
Offer one more time, like she said, go for everything, literally everything that Howard has to offer, go for it. Like you said, everybody's paying money to come to this school. The school is not cheap. Don't let those opportunities slip away just because you didn't feel like it, or I don't know if I want to turn in this application. It's just do it, because you never know until you do it. So apply for those. Apply for, or you do all them applications, make sure you're joining organizations, make sure you're meeting people, just do it all for real. Have fun at Howard.
Absolutely. Find balance, seek balance, have fun, but you need to be working as hard as you're playing. So thank you both for that insight. There are advantages to graduating prior to the typical 4-year period. Dr. Patterson, would you like to talk about the incentive program that was recently instituted by the president?
Muted.
You're muted, Dr. Patterson.
My mistake there. I was going to say a few words about that, and I think that Dr. Miller probably has some more information to add to what I would say. But it is a program where students graduate on time, or as you say, before the 4-year period, that they receive a 50% reduction in the tuition for the final semester. So that incentive has worked significantly. Our graduation rate has gone up sort of monumentally over the past 5 years under President Frederick's leadership. And this new program was also a contributing factor, we believe. Dr. Miller, do you have anything else to say on that?
No, I think that you covered everything. I would just really emphasize the importance of paying attention to HU communications. As new policies are developed from the senior administration, a lot of information such as that one and coverage of other credits will be available via the Howard email and HU communications.
Thank you.
Along those lines, I might also say then, there is the program for the stage summer program. Dr. Miller might also say more about this as well. But this is an excellent program that we've had over the past few years. We didn't have it this past summer perhaps for some obvious reasons. But previously assessed that students, if they qualify, they can enroll up to like 6 hours during the summer without any additional tuition. And that's really great because if you do that over 3 summers, you pick up some 18 hours there, and again, puts you much closer to graduation and graduating on time. So look out for that stage program in the future.
Yeah. Students are allowed to take 42 credits during the academic year. And so if you have not reached that maximum, you can take up to 6 credits, as Dean said, but that is just not free for all. You have to, there are some rules and regulations that apply to the stage grants.
There have been several questions about declaring a minor and how that works. And again, I'd reiterate that you work closely with your academic advisor to determine how to enfold your minor requirements into your graduation requirements. Again, you don't have to know what your minor is going to be today, but the sooner you identify what you think your minor what you want your minor to be, the sooner you can start working toward those goals. So again, work closely with your academic advisor to develop that program for completion.
I will just say quickly here about double majors. That's often a question that comes about among our students. In the College of Arts and Sciences, yes, you may double major. And will both majors require a minor? Yes. But the good news is that if you major, for example, in political science and sociology, let's say, for your political science major, sociology will serve as your minor. And for the sociology major, I hope I got this right, sociology major, political science would serve as your minor. So it's not double duty, a double major you can have there. One might ask, can we do triple majors at Howard? We really don't do triple majors, but can you do a triple minor? Yes, you can. So think about that. Take advantage of all of these possibilities for you at the university. Double majoring is permissible. Can you double major in the College of Arts and Sciences and the School of Engineering? At this point, we have not developed intra-university majors. We're working on that, and we hope to see that come along in the future. I think it's somewhere where we have to move at Howard University because all of our programs are interconnected. And so there are discussions about having majors across schools and colleges.
Ms. Truitt, I'll say a few more words then about selecting a minor, since we have apparently a number of questions in that area. So as Ms. Truitt pointed out, rightfully so, I like that counsel. Don't really be so pressed to select a minor right now. That's fine. And again, in the first year, you're receiving your advising by our excellent colleagues in the Office of Undergraduate Studies. But in your sophomore year, then you'll be your advising will be done primarily out of your department with your major. And so then you will spend a good deal of time with your undergraduate advisor or with some other professor that you develop a close connection with, as Dr. Miller pointed out. But you want to build your network of faculty support members. And in talking with them, they can help you discover a minor for you. They won't be suggesting any, but it's basically they ask you a bunch of questions that help you to do some soul searching to find out what is your passion. And then it comes out from those discussions, that Q&A back and forth, you reveal what is your minor. That's typically the way that it works.
Thank you, Dr. Patterson. Dr. Sloan, can you please describe the interdisciplinary studies program and what those various concentrations are and how those programs are developed as they lead toward fulfilling graduation requirements?
Well, the interdisciplinary studies program and department houses 6 different major concentrations that are composed, they're created around a central conceptual core that is not represented by any single existing traditional department, and instead draws on the resources of up to half a dozen of our traditional departments, capping those with true interdisciplinary courses that not just relate all of those departmental courses, a variety of different departments, but are actually novel contents of their own in that specialty setting. So the 6 of them, there are 2 different versions in environmental studies, environmental sciences, that's a BA program, and the second a BS program. International humanities, ancient and modern. We have a community development major and international affairs major, as well as a bioethics major. So there's quite a bit of variety, a lot of novelty in all of those. I'm not quite sure what else you were referring to when you're talking about the development within those. When you can apply directly to the major, that is interdisciplinary studies, and as you do that to the specific major concentration, or you can change after you arrive here. It's a simple 1 piece of paper, 2 or 3 lines of text to make that change. So was there something else incorporated in those chats that
I'll add to that. So the question, one of the questions was about being able to develop your own major as an interdisciplinary studies major. And I've worked at other universities where students were literally able to create their own interdisciplinary studies major that was comprised of classes taken in a variety of departments. So IDS at Howard doesn't work exactly that way. As Dr. Sloan stated, they're called interdisciplinary studies because those programs are also comprised of classes taken in a variety of departments, but you don't have an opportunity to create your own program, if I'm understanding that correctly.
That's
would you
correct.
confirm that, Dr. Sloan?
At this point, we don't have that option for a totally self-directed interdisciplinary major.
Okay.
Ms. Truitt?
Yes.
I just wanted to jump in on the topic of interdisciplinary studies and cross-school registration, just to mention the development of the new CoLab program, which is something that might be of interest to co-op students. It's brand new, it's still at the infantile stages, but what we're developing at Howard is a program specifically for non-STEM students to have a tech credential where you'll take classes in computer science as well as data analytics within several schools at the university. And more information is coming out and it'll be posted at ous.howard.edu/collab. And I'll put that in the chat box as well. It's 6 courses. So if you do end up having space in your schedule, as Dr. Davis had indicated, if you don't take language classes or if you have more space available, this is an option in addition to a minor.
I might also just say with respect to the interdisciplinary studies, I think one of the advantages, there are advantages for other universities to do it the way that they do. But I think among the advantages for our approach is that what the degree actually communicates. Having a concentration in a specific field communicates to graduate and professional programs, communicates to employers a certain base of knowledge and also a set of competencies that students would have as a result of having a concentration in bioethics or environmental studies or international affairs. So I just want to underscore that important point.
Dr. Miller received a comment stating that the OUS link is not working. Is there another link Or should perhaps the person be trying to connect to that link via Chrome, maybe? Would that be easier?
Do they mean for collab or for OUS?
Didn't say, it just says the OUS link doesn't work.
Okay, I would need more information.
Okay, so
but it's up now. I've been on it several times during this conversation.
Okay, okay. Yeah. It may be a factor of just being able to access it through Chrome as opposed to one of the other formats. Okay, there was a question for Dr.
Can I follow up, Ms. Troy, just a second here?
Yes.
Well, I appreciate Dr. Miller discussing the digital tech credentials. This is something that's going to become pretty prominent in the College of Arts and Sciences. As I like to say that I sort of want our liberal arts graduates to be able to not only to write beautiful essays, but to know how to write code as well. And so the questions of big data, data science, and data analytics will become very important, not just in the College of Arts and Sciences, but also with some cross collaboration involving the School of Business and the College of Engineering and Architecture. We've been involved in a number of discussions with some external partners that are just sort of chomping at the bit and eager to be supportive of our effort to develop degree programs and provide credentials for students in this particular space. Big data analytics is something that is hugely important. It's growing in importance every day. Sort of algorithms sort of determine, our lives in many respects, determining whether or not we get loans or qualifications for, grants and the like. And so there are not necessarily a great number of African Americans who engage in that profession. So institutions are interested in having more diversity in that space. We're interested in having more intellectuals and practitioners in this area. So new courses, suite of courses, also degree programs will be emerging in this particular field. So I just want to underscore that.
Good news. We look forward to learning more about that. Dr. Bartley, can you talk about the art portfolio? Is it too late to submit an art portfolio?
Yes, I gladly answer that question. No, it's not. It's not too late. We are still giving students who were already in Howard, who were accepted this semester, we're giving them a chance to prepare for, to prepare the portfolio. In some cases, we will give them up to 2 semesters to satisfy that requirement. But we do encourage them to get on board quickly. The site is slideroom.com, www.slideroom.com. And there is a portal for faculty and a portal for students. Naturally, students will go there and they should be looking at the intra-university transfer portal. Intra-university transfer portal. So when we get the portfolio, essentially, we have a matrix that we use for review, and the student must earn a minimum of 3.5 to be accepted, and that 3.5 usually comes from at least 3 reviewers.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Regarding the language placement scores, if you have not received your scores to date, please email Dr. Hughes at tlss@howard.edu. That's Tango Lima Sam at howard.edu. She'll be happy to provide you with that information.
Ms. Truitt, if you will, could I say something else?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. So there's this very important point I must make about the portfolio. Now, if the student was accepted into Howard and decide that they want to be graphic designer, fashion designer, whatever, and they submit their portfolio for review, they should know that just because they submit their portfolio doesn't mean that they're actually accepted in the program. The portfolio has to receive that 3.5 point score minimum. And usually while they wait to be admitted in the program, we encourage them to take, or we usually advise them along the path of taking general electives first, or general education courses first. So we do provide them with some mentorship in preparing that portfolio, but we don't really want them to, we encourage them to do it as quickly as possible because we don't want to be having them taking art classes when eventually they may not have met the portfolio requirements, meaning they would have lost those credits. So we want to make this clear, do this as quickly as possible, and don't think because you applied, you submit your portfolio, you're actually in the program. Thank you.
And related to that, you may have answered it, I may have missed it as I was scrolling through. How long does it take for the art portfolio to be reviewed?
In this case, it will only take a couple of days. So within a week, they should be able to get a result back.
Thank you.
Welcome.
There's a question about transferring credits to the university and finding out whether or not they were accepted. And this would also apply to your AP scores. You need to send your original test scores and original transcripts to registrar at howard.edu to confirm receipt of that information. And I think you can also go to Bison Web. Your Bison Web will show you where they're acknowledging receipt of that information. If you don't see it on Bison Web, you do want to reach out to the registrar's office, again, at the registrar@howard.edu email address.
Yeah, if you go under your academic transcript, under Bison Web, under student services, student records, academic transcript, you can, the top part should say like AMP credits that transferred over, or IB.
Thank you. We have not heard from psychology today. Dr. Burrell or Dr. Roberts, is there anything that you'd like our new students to know about your department? Any exciting things going on that you'd want to make them aware of prior to your orientation today?
I might let Dr. Harrell talk about that, but I did see in the Q&A there was a question from a student who asked about majoring in psychology, but being on the pre-med track and being, I think, a biology major. I was just sort of scrolling, so I wanted to make sure to address that. Yes, we have a lot of pre-med, a lot of students on the pre-med track who opt to major in psychology. It's a wonderful choice. The only thing I would say about that is you have to hit the ground running because there are some requirements for you to be able to take the MCAT at the appropriate time. And if you don't get certain courses under your belt prior to taking the MCAT, then you won't be able to do that. So in order to make the process efficient and effective, you should actually meet with Dr. Harrell or myself. We are doing the breakout session for psychology at noon. So, hopefully you're still on the call and you are going to come to that. But other than that, you can email us. You can find our email addresses on the website. I put it in the chat, but I don't think students can see the chat. So Yeah, so just, yeah, it's a wonderful choice. You know, we want you to be in psychology, but you have to begin taking some of the biology and chemistry and physics classes that first year. And we work in conjunction with Miss Andrus in the pre-health professional program to make sure you stay on track. So I hope it answers that question. I'm gonna let Dr. Harrell talk about the wonderful things happening in the psychology department.
There's a lot we'll talk about later on today, but for those of you all who are psychology majors and minors, one of the things we really want to emphasize is that we want you to do what we've done this morning. That is, we want you to see all the people we have at Howard University that may work with you as psychology majors. We want you to be involved in research, but we want you to be involved in interdisciplinary research wherever you can. That makes something special. I think that brings something special to the table. It makes your applications look better. So from the very first day that you heard psychologists speak to you, or this College for Arts and Sciences faculty speak to you, they've talked to you about interdisciplinary work. And that's going to be the hallmark of what you do as students here. A lot of exciting things happening in the department we'll talk about in our breakout session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Truitt, I'm going to ask, and it's getting about 11:30, and I think that we want to close up as quickly as we can so that there's a bit of a break between this activity and the 12 noon activity, or those that start at 12 noon. But I did want Dr. Gregory Carr, if he's online, to mention something about the freshman orientation course and also the other project that they're working on to try to give students some experiences that they cannot have in person, but they're doing virtually to give the HU experience, College of Arts and Sciences experience. Dr. Carr, are you available to say something about that?
Yeah, I'm here, brother. Thank you, Dean. Again, hello, everyone. Yes, you all will be hearing from us shortly in the next couple of days with the syllabus for the freshman seminar course. We're very proud of that course. That course was developed out of the same foundation that produced our interdisciplinary studies major. And so we have a theme every year. The theme this year, which also ties with a number of your professors, our colleagues across the college, is dealing with the twin pandemics that we face: the biological pandemic, of course, this COVID-19, and the underlying structural issues that pandemic has revealed: the racial pandemic, the social justice pandemic we face. And we'll say a lot more about that when we meet next week. You will be finishing, you'll be completing in groups, you'll be completing group projects that ask you to address solutions, to research, to discuss, and to create innovative presentations, podcasts, videos, well-researched projects that will propose solutions to these challenges we face in this moment. And that is in tandem with a number of our colleagues have expressed an interest in having you do group work across classes, work within classes to address these challenges as well. And you'll be hearing more about that as well from your individual professors as we team up, because you didn't come to Howard just to take courses, just to kind of have the experience, but you've joined a learning community. And so we're very happy about that. The only other thing I would say is that we also select every year a common text. And we thought this year that we would ground ourselves in some scholarship and some beautiful prose that helps us reframe this question. Again, you made a choice to come to a historically Black school. Howard University has never been an exclusively Black school since 1867. If anything, this university looks demographically more like the world. And I don't mean the real world folks in high school. Some of y'all counselors may have tried to tell y'all it looks like in the United States. I'm talking about the world itself, the entire globe. So with that in mind, finally, we picked a book by W.E.B. Du Bois. I'm sure many of you all know that name. Dr. Du Bois, who was on the faculty of the Atlanta University down there in Atlanta. You Atlanteans know that before he helped found the NAACP. He gave a number of talks at historically Black colleges, including one at Howard University in 1930, and he compiled them in a little book called The Education of Black People. And we're going to have a great time going through that text. And because we are socially connected, but physically distant, every year we invite, if they are alive, the writer of the book we picked. We've had Ta-Nehisi Coates, Deborah Plant, had a number of different people come. Of course, Dr. Du Bois is an ancestor, but because we are on technology, we're looking forward in conversation with the entire faculty of COAS in convening some conversations with folks who we can now just ring up, tweet up, email up and say, hey, why don't you drop in and have a conversation with us around this text? So look forward to hearing from everybody and having this conversation in the next couple of days. Look out for your syllabus. The book, The Education of Black People, because we have over 1,000 people in the freshman seminar course, I would encourage you to go ahead and order that book. I was talking to the people at Monthly Review Press, who was the publisher. They said they had about 600 on hand about a week and a half ago when I talked to them. So they're scurrying to get the books together. And there's no ebook format for it now, but the book is very inexpensive. It's less than $20. We always do that. We try to keep that in mind. So looking forward to, I should say one other thing. Even though, because we're not physically present, we're looking forward to something that we haven't had in a long time, perhaps, at Howard. You know, all of everything else has been stripped away. So it's you and the text and us. I think we're going back to basics this semester. So when we see you in January, you're going to have a beautiful experience of being a college student throwback, like some of our colleagues on this call right here. So you be sitting up in the quiet reading a book. Oh, can't wait till next week. So thanks, Dean.
All right. That was absolutely exquisite. Thank you, Dr. Carr.
Dr. Davis, I do agree that we need to wrap up soon, but I have two more questions. For Lieutenant Colonel West and Lieutenant Colonel Pearson, can you explain how a student can meet graduation requirements and still actively engage in the Army ROTC and ROTC programs and plans for commissioning for service following graduation?
So I'll jump in first. So both of the programs are very similar. They're both paths to becoming officers, whether it be in the United States Army or the United States Air Force. There's an extra curricular. There's just classes that you take like you would take with any other major. But the benefit of taking Army ROTC or either Air Force ROTC is that we offer a minor. So the minor that you require for being in COAS, you can also get it with Army ROTC or Air Force ROTC. So that's how you'll meet that requirement, because it would fulfill your minor requirement. But the addition to that, you walk away from Howard University with a career, making a substantial amount of money. That includes, that doesn't even mention benefits. But both of us have a seminar afterwards at like 12:30 to 1400, I think, for both. That will tell you more about the program. But there's also, for both programs, scholarship opportunities. So if you're still looking for a way to pay, look into the programs, see if you meet the requirements. We offer 2, 3, and also 4. So come check us out. Come check both Army and Air Force for the time frame allotted. We're probably trying to have something else. But again, the benefit of having that is that you meet the minor requirement. And so that will fulfill your minor obligation. And you end up with a career, a certified career afterwards. And you can choose whether you want to go active, guard, or reserve. And that's offered with both programs.
Thank you. Lieutenant Colonel Pearson, did you want to add anything to that? Okay.
She's muted.
She's muted. Dr. Abiola, does one have to audition to major in dance?
Yes. For dance and acting, all of our performance-based offerings, concentrations, one does have to audition first, and the audition times are usually February and March, and then depending on the concentration, And then there will be additional auditions sometimes, like for instance, with regard to this pandemic, we've extended auditions all the way through April. And then there will be callbacks. The callbacks will be more for acting, for dance. Usually after the audition, the students that made it into the program will know by that day. This year, since we have this pandemic, all of the auditions were submitted via video. And, but it was pretty much the same process. They still had a battery of competencies that they had to display in the video. They would go ahead and submit the video, and then the faculty would still review the video, give their scores, and notify the students whether or not they were accepted. Usually for dance, we also will allow students to take a dance class in the fall, but we won't be able to do that this fall because of the pandemic. But we would usually allow students to take a dance class, students who have missed the audition, and they would take a dance class in each of the technique areas. So that would be African, ballet, and modern. And the teachers would assess them, come together, and allow them to use that in lieu of an audition. If, let's say, they got their decision for admission late or something and missed the auditions. So that would be a way to also allow other students to be able to audition and be considered.
Thank you very much. I am going to wrap up the Q&A session at this time so that everyone can take a breather between sessions and get to your department's orientation on time. Students, please read the information carefully, being mindful that not all orientations start at 12 today, and not all of the orientations are being held today. So again, read your information carefully. I've been seeing lots of emails come across my screen related to some of the information that's being addressed today. If you have not declared a major to date, again, that's okay. You don't have to have a major today, but it's helpful for you to have an idea as to what some of your interests may be or where your personal goals may lie. So you may just want to pop in on one or two orientations that might reflect that interest, and hopefully you'll get some information or some answers there that will help lead you toward your decision making. Again, I want to thank you for your patience and your flexibility. I realize that your agenda came very late last night. I do apologize for that inconvenience, but obviously lots of you did read the information late last night, so I appreciate that. I reiterate that it's very important for you to stay attuned to your HU communications. It's been mentioned earlier that you utilize your Howard email address, because that is where most, if not all, of your communication will be received. I also appreciate your flexibility and adaptability. You have exemplified just within these past few months of communication the importance of recognizing the need to be able to do so. You may notice that I'm sitting in my bedroom. I had no idea that at 9:10 contractors would come in to paint my living room. So, you know, we adapt, we do what we have to do. Again, it was mentioned that you please give your advisors 24 to 48 hours to respond to your email communications. Patience is going to be so important as we all go through this process together, and we're literally all learning something every single day. So bear with us. Believe it or not, we're human too. We make errors, but we rectify them as soon as possible. And again, we are so excited to have you joining us at Howard University. Welcome to the college. Welcome to the community. Dr. Davis, Dr. Patterson, if there's anything else you'd like to say.
Well, just in closing, to reiterate your welcoming up to the students of to Howard University and to COAS, I reiterate my words that begin with P: plan purposefully, prepare prayerfully, proceed positively, and pursue persistently. That has been our public announcement to you today. And that's what we tried to accomplish in this particular segment here. I cannot end, though, without thanking our preparers of this program. Ms. Truitt, who you just heard from, has worked tremendously hard to pull all of this together. Let's give her our own applause in a quiet kind of way. We want to thank Mr. Patrick Saget, who is our administrator, is our technical assistant person. All of what you're seeing here is not just came about on its own. It had to be prepared, organized, and so we are indeed grateful for that. And as they do in the Oscars, I also want to thank the makers of Zoom for coming together to put this on here. We must really appreciate our Zoom gods and goddesses. And I also would like to thank Dr. Reuben Patterson, the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, our associate deans, our chairs, our student leaders, our invited guests from other units, Dr. Miller and Mr. Covington. And we just really appreciate this for your having participated in this public service announcement. Please know that none of our participants have been paid for their participation. It is all volunteer work, and we appreciate that tremendously. So peace and blessings. Have a great day. See you all later. Goodbye. Somebody want to do the HU thing? You know? Who can do it?
Go ahead, Lauren. Go ahead, Timmy. You got it.
HU.
You
know. HHHHU.
You know.
You know.
You know.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Hasta luego, baby.
Thank you, Ms. Truitt.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.